Hello, Night Nation. Trey Strelko here. This is the Sons of UCF Live. Let us welcome in the host of the Dungeon's favorite show. Hello, Adam and Mike.
Greetings, Trace. It's a great week to be a Knight. My voice is still not recovered from it, but it was all worth it, my friend.
How's it going, guys? Much better mood this week. Yes, coming off a big win on Saturday. So another big week coming up. We got to keep the train moving.
25-21 over Cincinnati. Adam, you were there. What was your big takeaway from this game?
Yeah, I feel like we've seen games like this under Gus where we've gotten down and things haven't really always gone our way, and we have a tough time climbing out of that hole. 2 turnovers going into the end zone, essentially, losing a quarterback, giving up a late touchdown run that was a backbreaker. I feel like we've seen that movie before, and it typically ends in bad fashion. The fact that they marched down and quickly, put points on the board, did so efficiently. Defense then came back out, made a big stop. It's a nice change of pace. I feel like I've been waiting for this kind of reaction. I feel like I was doing this at Louisville, and you saw what happened. And so for them to finally close the deal on this one, I think was the big takeaway for me.
It was the rebounding coming off that tough loss the week before. We didn't know where this program was. I didn't know what the state of the locker room was coming off that game, and we heard the rumors this past week. Were things in disarray, and they answered the bell this week. They put all that stuff aside and perform maybe one of their best performances aside from the Temple game, probably the second best performance all season.
And of course, what's notable in this game is Mikey Keene comes off the bench in relief of an injured John Rice Plumlee, who goes out with the concussion. Keene Kong showed up, was accurate on his passes, and in all likelihood, right, not much information from Coach Malzahn at his Monday media availability, but likely you're going to see Mikey Keene get the start at Memphis Saturday. That was my poll question this week on Twitter at SignPez. Who do you think gets the start? 85% said Mikey Keene. Any information, Mike, that you think would suggest otherwise?
No, and I don't think Gus is going to tell us anything going in. He might as well let Memphis prepare for both quarterbacks. But with that shot that he took and what we just saw from Tua a couple of weeks ago in the NFL, I think you got to let him rest. Even if he says he's healthy, I think you still got to give him that other week.
And Adam, on this one, I will say, devil's advocate, Cincinnati prepared for John Rice Plumlee. Any skepticism for you that Mikey Keene took advantage of that situation?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think we did a breakdown film, shameless plug, that's on YouTube right now with UCF XOS. And if you watch that breakdown, there are opportunities for Mikey actually where he missed a few plays, he missed a few throws. So I think that in some respects, everyone was a little bit off kilter with sort of that changeup. But to Mike's point, I think, look, Plumlee's health has got to be first priority here. Not only did he take the shot to the head, but when he hit the ground, the other side of his head bounced off as well. That's a double contact. So really, I think first and foremost, hopefully things are good with JRP. But I think maybe a week of Mikey preparing for the offense, we'll see what kind of wrinkles come into play. Gus swore to me in the press conference, Trace, he didn't change a thing. So sounds like we're rolling the same offense out here.
Well, and the most notable soundbite from that press conference was the question asked about who's QB1 at Memphis. Let's listen to Coach Malzahn.
No. What I said, we're going to take it day by day. As far as that goes, and we've got 2 guys. I think obviously we can win with. I think everybody knew that coming in, but we'll just take it day by day with John Rice right now.
So if John Rice is healthy, he will start.
Well, we're going to take it day by day, and that's the plan. We'll see what happens.
The appropriate follow-up question, Coach Malzahn didn't care for that very much.
I'm confused. Is the plan to take it day by day? Is the plan to start John Rice Plumlee? I'm confused at the plan on that one.
Yeah, I don't think he knows the answer. That's the part of the problem. I think he's going to use this injury as to buy himself another week and see what he's got with Mikey Keene, and then maybe the questions will answer themselves.
Well, and the Knights have a difficult challenge now. Saturday on the road at Memphis. Memphis comes into this 3-game losing streak, but Knights did not perform well at ECU. Only 1 win under Coach Malzahn on the road in AAC play. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Trap game, looking ahead to Tulane perhaps in another week. You feel like this one could be a trap game coming off a big win over Cincinnati?
I mean, look, I guess in theory, the signs could be there, but I think this is a team that's focused. I think this is a team that really hopefully learned a lesson after ECU. And Gus has talked about energy. Gus has talked about all the things they need to do. So my hope is that in theory, I guess you could see how this sets up, but I hope there's no way on earth that happens.
there can't be any more trap games. You're allowed one trap game a year. We already fell into the trap. You can't allow yourself to fall into a trap twice. And Gus already said so. He already promised us that his team's going to be ready. There's no excuses anymore the rest of the year.
You're allowed one trap game? Where is this?
You're not allowed. But, I mean, you're definitely not allowed two.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that you can't have two trap games. And they control their destiny, right? Can you believe, by the way, they're 6-2. They've played 8 games. There's only 4 left.
There's really
It goes too fast. It goes too fast.
Well, I know, but in the regular season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going too fast, but a lot ahead of them now. They got to take care of business at Memphis, or games like Tulane may not mean a lot.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, I hope Mike is right that, we've got this trap game nonsense out of the way here. I think we've got hopefully Gus has the team's attention. I think they know what's at stake in front of them now. Whatever happened at ECU is whatever happened at ECU. I think you put that behind us, and hopefully, things can move forward here in a pretty positive manner, and we can never do that again.
Well, what's been very consistent for the Knights over the last several weeks is special teams. And let's welcome in our first guest, a return guest on Sons of UCF Live. He is kicker Colton Boomer, joining us now from UCF. Colton, welcome into Sons of UCF.
What's going on, guys?
How are you tonight?
I'm not too bad.
Not too bad. 10 of 10 on field goals. You're off to a good start. What's been working for you?
Just learning from my mistakes. I feel like that's definitely a big takeaway from the season, is just learning from my mistakes and applying it to the next game.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the games themselves, Colton. I got 2 questions for you. One, there's a little shimmy situation that you do prior to your kick. Is shimmy the right word to use there? What do we call that? How do we describe that little movement?
More just to set my hips, just get them downfield, more just a mental thing.
Is there a name for it? Do you have like a nickname, like a marketing ploy maybe? Like,
no,
maybe we got NIL opportunities here, Colton?
No Dancing with the Stars, NIL deals there, but
not yet.
You can call it whatever you want, as long as it's working.
Well, I'm sure our audience will come up with something creative. And then the next one for you, the new tradition that starts organically at UCF, when you make contact with the football, the whole crowd yells "boom" in the same time frame there. Does that distract you? Do you hear that at all? Is that something that's like, that is kind of a background noise to you?
I'm gonna be honest, I can't hear it. If you guys like it, I like it. That's really my mindset with that. Yeah, I really just, especially in the Cincy game, I could only see the ball. My ears kind of got turned off. But
when you signed here with UCF, you came up with the logo "Kicking Bombs and Kissing Moms." You're the starter now. How many moms have you kissed so far since you became the starter?
Mike, you cut right to the chase on these questions.
I like that. I like that. Just too many, man. I need to start making a list or something. It's getting out of hand.
Getting out of hand. Your debut of a new website as well. Talk about that. ColtonBoomer.com. Fans can find more information about you and all the NIL deals that you've got worked out.
Yeah, my parents and I kind of got together and thought it would be a good idea. Just get that out of the way now. Because, I mean, I'm going to end up doing an NIL deal like sooner than later, so might as well do it now and not wait, That's kind of the mindset with that.
All right, Colton, take us into the game on Saturday for a second. We're driving late, obviously. Cincinnati scores. We have the ball back. We're down 3. So there's a possibility you may be called into action, right? We may need you to try on the field. What are you doing at those moments? Are you on the side practicing? Are you like the rest of us watching the game? Are you huddled with your coaches maybe? What are you doing on that last drive to stay prepared, not knowing if you're going to be needed in the game or not?
Yeah, I'm just trying to put myself in that situation on the sideline, kicking into the net, and just have a few guys watch the play drive for me, let me know when it's third down and when I need to really get ready to go. That's about it, though. Nothing too crazy. Still just got to go out there and hit the ball.
On our show this week, we discussed the top 5 most handsome quarterbacks in UCF history. Where do you rank yourself as most handsome on the team?
Jeez, I don't know. We got some pretty good looking roosters on the team. I don't know. Probably like say I don't even know. I don't even want to put a number out there. Definitely, I don't know. I mean, JRP, jeez, dude's a stud. I don't know. We got some stallions. I'm definitely more of a nugget type of guy myself. Would have to. I don't know. Yeah, I would say I'm down there though. We got some decent looking dudes. I'm not gonna be insecure about that.
You've got some swag there with your fellow freshman punter, Mitch McCarthy. What's that like to pal around with a 25-year-old freshman?
Definitely, he has a lot of real life experience, and I definitely learn a lot from him. It's like having a big brother, basically. That's the best way to describe it.
One thing I love, Colton, is after the games, UCF puts out the night flicks, and it's really cool because we get to see sometimes behind the scenes stuff in the locker room. And I've noticed the last couple of weeks, Coach Malzahn stands on some sort of a perch and he reads out some stats. He yells boom a lot, right? And then, he yells out a defensive stat, and the defensive guys all chant D block, right? Which I assume is their nickname. And then he gives some offensive stats, and everyone chants Osho. Is there a special teams chant? Do you, Alex Ward, Mitch, do you guys have something in case he ever shouts you guys out? Is there some sort of chant you guys would have?
I don't know. We're lucky for stat gets called, I don't think we're too worried about a chant. No, I'm joking. But no, there's no special teams chant. That can be something that we work on though. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see some. We can maybe get some audience participation here and see if they have an idea for a chant for you guys. I need to see a special teams chant started in the next locker room speech.
Oh, you got it. You got my word.
Oh, awesome.
All right, my favorite thing about you, not only your kicking ability, but your hair. Now, I'm trying to grow out my hair myself. How long has it taken you to get your hair to that length? And you have any tips for me?
Oh, geez. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't had my hair short in my 18 years of life, so I really don't know what it's like to have short hair. But don't wash it too much. That's definitely the
How
key.
often you put in conditioner?
That's actually funny you say that. I actually started I only have one ritual, and it's that I use the hotel shampoo and conditioner at each game, and that's the only time I'll truly wash the mop. Everything during the week is just normal shampoo. But yeah,
Mike, you stole my hair question. That was going to be a natural. I wanted to swap stories with Colton about that. Colton, we had opportunity to ask you questions in one post game, and I thought it was notable that you mentioned your faith, and you're not shy about talking about that. And there are features on that and in the website at coltonboomer.com as well. You're comfortable talking about faith.
Yeah, I mean, like King Solomon says in Ecclesiastes, you can do everything under the sun, but if you're not doing it for the will of God, there's no point. It's just grabbing at air. Just everything's vanity. Me personally, I think everything's vanity if you're not doing it in the will of God. I mean, definitely a little weird coming from a 19-year-old saying that, but I don't know. I'm just glad to be in the position that I can be in right now, to be able to say this and preach the Lord's name.
And in the text of the website, you make mention to reach out to you if you need some prayer support, and you encourage fans to email you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's my job. It's fun playing football and all. It's a game, but eternity is a long time, and I just don't want to look back and be like, man, I didn't do everything I could to really touch people's hearts and show them that there's more to life, and that the life you live on earth is very short, but an eternity is a long time.
Well, Colton, obviously we all think of you as a football player, but you're also a freshman in college transitioning in your first semester. What's that been like for you? What's the first semester of college overall been like for you?
I mean, I had spring to warm up, so that was a nice little taste of it. But it's definitely different with football rolling. I mean, I don't know. I really love it. Like, I had to make a little adjustment from. I mean, I wasn't playing the first few games. Then I got in. I was like, "Holy crap! This is different." Like, with the schoolwork side of it, just the mental toll it takes. But I would think that I'm adjusted now, and I'm back to the books. We're killing it, so it's not too bad.
What's your toughest class right now?
Jeez, Alex Ward and I have managerial accounting.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. But
End up there an accident? Like how'd you end up in that one?
I don't know. I think the academic staff has some faith in me, so they kind of just they like to challenge me, to say the least.
Well, I gotta know who's got better grades in that class right now, you or Alex?
Oh, jeez, you know the answer to that. Alex Ward is the smartest person I think I've ever been around. That dude is a walking genius. It's actually mind blowing. Like, it's insane.
Well, you look like you are a pretty good athlete, not just a kicker. Do you guys have fake field goals in the playbook? How often do you practice them? And is it you running with it, or do you have a pass option?
Jeez, I don't know. What's a fake field goal? I never heard of that. I don't think I can say this on air. I don't know. I've never heard of a fake field goal before. Jeez. No, yeah, we got a few in the books, but yeah.
If you ended up taking one to the house yourself, do you have a celebration you're ready for?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I might just start crying. No, I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I just hypothetically, if that does come true, I just need to freaking focus on getting into the end zone, and then I don't know. Hopefully, something will take over, and I'll do something cool in the end zone.
As I mentioned, you're 10 of 10 on field goals, including 3 from 40 plus, long of 43. You're kind of making the case here for a scholarship, right?
Geez, something like that. I don't know. I'm in a blessed situation where my parents have worked hard enough, so I really don't have to worry too much about having, like, paying to be on the team. So, but I mean, it would definitely be a nice reward for the work that has been being put in on the field.
When you're not on the practice field, Colton, what's your favorite spot around UCF? Do you have a go-to place you go to eat, a place you go hang out? What's your favorite spot around campus?
Like Gringo's Tacos. That place is good. Or Dunkin's right next there. Go after game days, Sunday, go get a donut, get a little treat after a nice little win. But other than that, I'm a dorm dweller. I like to stay in, play the piano a little bit, play some video games, and do my homework.
With that hair, you're not too hard to spot. Have you become have you noticed that you've become a little more popular on campus? Has it been a little easier to talk to the ladies? And how's that going?
Imagine, hey, Proverbs 11:22, like a gold ring and a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. Gotta keep the celibacy alive, No, I'm joking. But no, it's definitely been a little bit different, but I don't know. I really could care less. It's definitely, I don't know. That's actually funny you asked that. I've never really thought of that. But I wouldn't say it's any different. I'm just another kid on campus just trying to get a degree.
What's your degree?
Finance. Minor in real estate.
Yeah, that's the accounting class. Yeah.
Yeah.
ColtonBoomer.com is the website. Be sure to bookmark it. Check out all of Colton's deals, including Rock'em Socks. Colton Boomer, we wish you well this weekend and the team at Memphis. And thanks for joining us again on Sons of UCF Live.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Thank you, Colton. Good kid. How about that? Mike with the hair questions. He's got good hair.
He does.
It is.
I don't think my hair is getting that long. I don't know. My wife's been begging me to cut it for weeks or months.
How long has it been now?
Since March.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Not bad. Not bad. All right. You remember last time at Memphis, a 50-49 loss, kind of a missed field goal situation at the end. Mind you, if you give up 50 points, there's a lot of blame to go around in that game. Let's see if it comes down to a field goal again this weekend in Memphis. Mike, save the date. Louisiana at UCF coming up September 18th, 2027. Terry Mahajer inks the one-off deal. Knights 4-0 all-time with the Raging Cajuns. And congratulations to Josh Sitton, the Green Bay Packer Hall of Fame will be inducting him, the three-time All-Pro guard, fourth-round pick in 2008. Started, I couldn't believe this when I saw it. Started 112 of 121 regular season games with the Packers. Not bad. A Hall of Famer for the Green Bay Packers. All right, let's continue this show with another guest. He is Porter Grieve, co-founder, CEO of Mercury, and you may know, and you're starting to hear more about, Charge On XYZ. Porter, welcome into Sons of UCF Live.
Hey guys, tough act to follow there.
How's your Mike?
Don't have long hair for you.
Yeah, Mike. How's Porter's hair? Let's get a quick hair check.
It looks good. It looks good. I mean, I don't know if he uses too much product in there, but it looks pretty natural.
I don't. Any tips? Anything you just do differently?
Hotel shampoo
Hotel
and conditioner seems to be working.
That's a
Yeah,
good
for
ritual.
Colton.
Each hotel got to test the amenities.
So tell us a little bit more about Charge On XYZ. I think fans have seen more and more of that mention on social media. You tell us now. What's it all about?
Sure. So we built Charge On. So we, Mercury, that's our sort of corporate entity, corporate company. We've partnered with the UCF athletic department to build Charge On, the Charge On platform. That's at Charge On XYZ on Twitter, and then chargeon.xyz is the actual platform URL. And it's really a sort of new age fan engagement platform that is really all about doing one thing, which is delivering sort of new experiences to fans that they couldn't get elsewhere. I think we're in a very new era with Web3 technology on one side, and on the other side, the sort of new era of NIL in the collegiate space. So I think there's this fascinating opportunity to deliver experiences and access to fans in new and exciting ways. And for us, we're incredibly excited to partner with UCF on this, because I think the fan base is one that is incredibly tech savvy. As I like to say, they sort of hunt in packs. Like they find something that the school is doing, and they're there. They show up for their team. They show up for their school. And the reaction so far has been awesome. And the partnership with the school and the athletic department has been phenomenal. So happy to get into more about what's coming up and what we're doing. But as a start, it's really a partnership between us and the school on one side, and then us and the athletes and helping them get paid on the other side.
Porter, you guys have already had some really nice integration with UCF. Last weekend's game, you had a fan run out of the tunnel with a flag. I know you do giveaways of jerseys and whatnot. What's next? Can you give us a sneak peek? Are there any other new things that the fans out there can look forward to maybe Charge On XYZ putting out there from a contest or from an experience standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So far, it's mainly been around giveaways, trying to generate activity on the Twitter account, on the platform, just grow the audience so they know that we're here and they know that we're a thing. And now that we're at a point where, the audience has grown and we're becoming relevant in the sort of UCF ecosystem, it's time to start doing, what we've always wanted to do, which is the really exciting stuff. So two things are coming up very soon. One, on the NIL side, we're going to start doing player experience auctions that are dropped via digital collectibles. So, one coming up, I'm not sure if you guys have the video, but we're going to do these cleat drops with a few of the athletes on the football team. So these are sort of blank cleats. You can look at them right now on chargeon.xyz. So these are digital collectibles, and we're going to auction these off. And whoever wins the auction, these are the Isaiah Bowsers. Whoever wins the auction will get a 30-minute Zoom session with our design team and Isaiah himself to customize these however Isaiah wants and however you want. And then after that session, our design team will go away and they'll design the cleats however the fan and Isaiah wanted. And then there will be 2 versions created digitally. One will be dropped in the fan's Charge On account wallet, and then one will be dropped in Isaiah's account wallet. So just a really cool opportunity to connect with an athlete one-on-one and have that experience. So that's one thing that's coming up that we're going to be doing with Isaiah and a few of the other football players.
What is the cost of joining Charge On XYZ, and what are the biggest benefits of signing up?
So it's completely free to register. We do have a membership pass for $25, which helps pay the athletes, helps put money in their pocket, but also gets you admitted to monthly raffles. So opportunities to win tickets, opportunities to win memorabilia, jerseys, signed gear from the athletes, experiences like, being the flag holder at one of the games. So it's completely free if you just want to register and get involved and follow the Twitter account for what's coming up. And then also being a member, you'll get early access to the new products and features we roll out. Because for us, this is a completely long-term project. This isn't just a, hey, fun thing to do. We're going to be here for a long time. So we're going slow. We're building the audience. We're building the community and trying to get really entrenched in this ecosystem and do some really cool things over time.
You've talked about engagement. You must like that UCF's student and alumni base, so young, so tech savvy. This is the sort of engagement that they like.
Absolutely. Our business model all along as sort of Mercury, we're not trying to do something with every school on the planet. We're not trying to just sign every college and rush out there and put a mediocre product out there. We're focused on bringing a handful of schools and brands to market and partnering for the long term. And for us, it's important that those brands and those schools, one, see us as long-term partners, and 2, feel like that they have that rabid fan base, the audience, and really the athletic programs to sustain a platform like this and the excitement that can come with that. And the great thing for me about UCF is, as you said, the young, the tech savvy alumni base. And just if you look at, UCF and UCF athletics on a slope, the arrow is absolutely pointing up. And that's what's most exciting to me. It's, this is a school and an athletics department that is on the rise and has been for a while. And the excitement around, not just the football team, but athletics as a whole is growing. And we're just thrilled to be a part of that growth in the future.
Porter, UCF has a pretty, pretty revolutionary design team. Eric DeZalvo, you saw the Space U uniforms. How much fun has it been to work with that creative team and sort of throw a lot of crazy ideas out there? And is there a crazy idea that you guys have in mind that you're hoping you can pull off down the road?
Yeah, we have a lot of crazy ideas, and Eric and his team are amazing. And that's one of the things that we noticed, immediately when we started looking at different schools and looking at UCF. It was, the content that is just consistently being churned out by the digital team, by the social team. Right out of college, I was working in digital media in pro sports. So I know the time and the effort and how hard it is to actually create good content and what these guys do regularly. I mean, I can't believe what I see every week. It's the type of thing, the type of stuff with Nightflix and everything else that they've done around the space uniform and the space games. It's incredible. It's one piece of that content, a digital team at another school would be thrilled to put out once a season, let alone once a week or twice a month. So yeah, thrilled to work with Eric. In terms of what we have coming up on the university sort of focus side, non-NIL side, we've taken the field at the bounce house. We've chopped it into 100 pieces. This is digitally, of course. We didn't actually do this. Digitally chopped into 100 pieces. And we are going to drop these over the course of multiple weeks. And the holders of the field pieces, I'm not sure if you have the individual field piece to show, but each one is a different slice of the field. They're sort of experimented and designed in different ways. And I can send a clip later of one of the actual pieces. And the holders of these, the holders of the field pieces this year will get a tour of the stadium, kick a field goal on the field, get a tour of the facilities surrounding, get their name on the video board, get field access for photos. Just a really awesome experience, similar to what we gave away last week. And that's just for this year. So over time, we want, being a field holder at UCF to mean something and to be something that grows over time and that the rewards and the experiences just sort of keep getting added onto.
There's only one home game left on the schedule, but 3 road games, and there's going to be a lot of UCF Knights traveling to these games, especially the one in Tampa, and then a big bowl game maybe down the road. You guys have anything planned for these away games for these fans?
Away games are tougher for us. We do the best we can to be very present in stadium with our partners. Sneaking into sort of opponent stadiums and doing anything there is a little tougher. And I don't know if UCF Athletics would want us doing that, but we're always looking for additional ways to reward our community members and our audience, and really just find additional experiences to bring those fans closer to the teams, closer to the athletes. So we'll have stuff coming. So just keep following us on Twitter, and you'll see some stuff.
Yeah, one more time, how can folks find out more about everything you guys are working on?
Yeah, so best way right now is just follow us on Twitter at On XYZ, and you'll see what's coming. The cleats, the field drop, and more to come too.
Porter Grieve, part of Charge On XYZ at UCF. Thanks so much for being with us on Sons of UCF Live.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Porter. All right, Mike, how far do you think you could kick a field goal?
Ooh, man, I don't know. I haven't tried to kick a football, and I can't tell you. I could probably hit easily a 25-yarder, maybe a 30-yarder. After that, I don't know.
They usually pull a fan out to catch a punt. They had Coach Lovelady from the baseball team a couple of weeks ago. How do you think you do with that? You go 3 for 3?
Catching punts, I'd probably do better at that than kicking field goals. It depends how high they shoot them up. That's another thing. I've never tried that before either. So.
See, I think these are things that are part of Suns Plus, the experiences that you could have with Mike trying to catch punts, field goals. See, there's some things we could work with on this Suns Plus. Knights 6-2, bowl eligible now. Mike, you just mentioned it, bowl game down the line. Yahoo, UCF, Penn State, and the Cotton Bowl, and some of the other bowls still, Action Network's got them in Boca down in your neck of the woods. Of course, you got to beat Memphis and really finish strong if you're going to find your way into that New Year's Six Bowl. Let's talk more about the Memphis Tigers. We are joined by Frank Bonner II, covers Memphis for the Daily Memphian, and you can find him at Frank_Bonner2. Frank, thanks for being with us on Sons of UCF Live.
I appreciate you guys for having me.
I want to start off with a question that we got in our mailbag. I told the gentleman that I think I'm just going to direct it to you. He said, could Ryan Silverfield be on the hot seat if the Tigers fall below 500? 8-3 first year, 6-6 is second. And of course, UCF fan saying, could it lead to 2 coaches fired this season after playing the Knights? Georgia Tech fired their coach after a loss at UCF. Ryan Silverfield, hot seat or no?
In terms of firing, no. I think if Memphis loses the game against UCF, I don't think Ryan Silverfield will be fired after the game or anything like that. But in terms of the standard, if they lose to UCF, and depending on what happens the last 3 games, going into next season, there could be a hot seat mentality, especially by the fan base. But to your point in terms of firing, I don't think Silverfield gets fired one way or the other, whether they win or lose against UCF.
All right, Frank, where are we with Memphis right now? Last 3 games, a tough loss against Houston, right? A game that they were up in, and Houston comes back late. An overtime loss at ECU. Then they're down early against Tulane, but storm all the way back, right, and make a pretty decent comeback and fall up short again. So 3 losses in a row, 3 conference losses in a row. I know they're off a bye week. But what's the sense around the program right now? What's the energy around the team?
Well, they're trying to take what they can from those last 3 weeks, but they have a really next game up mentality right now. The bye week was really good for them. Not just getting some bodies healthy, but just mentally kind of resetting. I think what Quindale Johnson said immediately after losing to Tulane, he said going into this bye week, it's a time for Memphis to reset and refocus and just basically try to hone out these last 4 games to salvage what you can, because they still have a possibility in terms of mathematically to have an 8-win regular season if they can win out these last 4 games. So I think that's what's their main focus is on is what's ahead of them versus pondering about the last 3 losses.
What do you guys have to do to win this week? If Memphis wins this game, it's because of what? And how confident are you that they can pull it off?
Well, I'll say the main thing they have to do is the turnovers. If you look at the way they started the year, right, their first 5 games, they were 4-1. They did a quality job of protecting the football and forcing takeaways. Their turnover margin was 12-3 in those first 5 games. Well, these last 3 games, they have 1 takeaway and 7 turnovers. So I think that is kind of one of the major things that have been a part of this 3-game stretch and this 3-game losing streak. So for one, protect the ball. 2, force UCF to get some turnovers. And to answer your latter question, history suggests that Memphis has a good chance for an upset. If you look at they haven't lost a homecoming game since 2016. They are 10-0. Their last 10 games coming off of a bye week, they've won. And so all of that is setting up for a possible upset. But looking at what UCF was able to do against Cincinnati, I still have to lean towards UCF just because I don't know if Memphis can put a full game together. I mean, if you look at the Houston game, you look at the East Carolina game, and you look at Tulane, you can pinpoint times in each of those games where Memphis played really well, but not being able to do it for a full game is the reason why they didn't come away with the victory. And I think they may find themselves in a similar situation against UCF.
What does quarterback Seth Hennigan do well, and talk more about the offensive threats that he has?
I mean, one thing you can say about Seth, this is only his 2nd year playing college football, but he doesn't get rattled easily, right? He's very poised. Even when things aren't going well, he stays level-headed. And for him to be this young into his college career and to have that amount of calmness to him, I think is a major plus for the Memphis offense. And then his weapons, as of right now, I mean, his favorite target is big target tight end Caden Priestcorn. I mean, he's leading the team in receptions. He's leading the team in receiving touchdowns. And although teams have started to hone in on covering him, Seth has still found ways to get him the ball, not only in the red zone, but, in the middle of the field. And so his connection with Caden Priestcorn has been a major positive for the offense so far.
What about on the defensive side of the ball, Frank? What are some names to watch out for on when the Tigers are on defense?
I mean, the biggest name is Quindell Johnson. The Tulane game was his first game back from injury. He was a little bit banged up, but he's back at full health now. Quindell Johnson is kind of he is the leader of that offense on the field. I mean, of that defense, sorry, on the field, off the field. Having him back at safety is a major plus for the defense. That linebacker group is pretty solid with Tyler Murray, Zay Cullins, and Jeff Canton-Arku. That linebacker group is pretty strong. Greg Rubin, cornerback, is another guy who's been playing well for Memphis. And so those are some of the key guys. And you've got a guy like Jalen Allen, who Jalen Allen is going to be one of those defensive guys who's kind of all over the field. They use him in various different scenarios and situations. He can line up on the line as a DN. He can, play off the line. And so he's a guy who I call more of a hybrid position. And they've been able to do some really good things using him around the field.
We've had some classic battles over the years with you guys, especially 2017, 2018, the championship games. 2 completely different games. The one in 17 goes to double overtime. The one in 18, you guys get out to a big lead, and we come back. Which one hurts you the most thinking about it?
So I actually, this is my 2nd year covering Memphis, and so I wasn't around for those games, but I did hear that there were some exciting games to watch. There were some exciting games to cover, but I don't necessarily have an opinion on the outcome of them. I wasn't around during that time. But what I do hope is that I hope that I can cover an exciting one this weekend. I'll tell you that.
Let's end on a men's basketball question. How good are the Memphis Tigers and Penny Hardaway's team going to be this year?
That's to be determined, I'll say, just because this is a different type of roster for Penny Hardaway in terms of what he's used to recruiting-wise. This is an older team, a lot more veterans, less, in terms of the talent they have, it's not a lot of young, inexperienced guys, which I think will be a positive for them. But we'll see how long it takes for them to put it all together. I think it'll be a successful season. I think there'll be some bumps and bruises along the road, but I think they'll be solid, right? I think they'll be a tournament team. I think they'll make it out of the first round, and we'll see what happens after that.
Frank Bonner II covers Memphis for the Daily Memphian. Thank you for being with us on Sons of UCF Live, and I'll look you up in the press box on Saturday.
All right, thank you. Y'all take care.
Thanks, you, Frank.
Thanks.
Some good games, though, you mentioned, Mike. Those were some classics between UCF and Memphis. UCF pretty much owned Memphis. I thought it was interesting, though, some of the stats he threw out. Pretty good at a homecoming game and coming off a bye.
Yeah, but what about the stat of UCF is what, 13-2 against Memphis all time, or 14? If it wasn't for the Obarski missed field goal, we would have won 14 games in a row against these guys. The other time they beat us was in 1990 when we were what, Division I, Division II? I don't know.
Oh, please get this right, Mike. Please get this right.
Where were we in 90? I'm not even sure.
Good Lord.
I admit I don't know.
Division II, right? Division I AA.
Oh, you better get this right, Trace.
I was 10 years old.
All right, what's your prediction? Does Gus Malzahn notch his second AAC victory on the road?
He better. He needs to.
He better.
I mean, we are a favorite. I know we're going on the road, but I don't expect a hostile crowd in Memphis, right? I haven't really watched too many of their games, but I don't think they're selling out the Liberty Bowl. It's a big stadium. We have the better football team. We beat them up pretty good last year. I think we go in there and take care of business now that we've gotten the one trap game out of the way. And now we've got some momentum coming off the Cincinnati game. I expect us to get things rolling here and finish the season strong.
Yeah, give me 34-20, Trace. Good guys on this one. I think maybe a bit of a slow start as the offense kind of gets acclimated and gets adjusted to whatever new play calling it is, assuming that Mikey Keen's at quarterback. But defense holds strong again. Do we pull away with a couple of late scores? Give me 34-20 Knights.
I think the Knights win this one. Let's cheap plug time again. Sons of UCF YouTube channel. You got together with Andy XOXO there and broke down some of the game film.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's certainly a nuanced perspective of the game, and there are a couple of plays, particularly on Mikey Keen, where if you watch the film back, where perhaps his lack of consistent reps throughout the week may be a factor. So you got to hope, based on that, that he gets more reps this week around. I'd also say, looking at that film and talking to Andy, who knows more about football than I probably ever will, the offensive line played their best game of the year. We saw a couple of plays where they got some really good push on the defensive line. A couple of good zone blocking schemes. So you hope the offensive line can continue that progression. RJ Harvey runs like he does. Mikey Keen makes some better decisions, and we're off and rolling, baby.
Sounds positive. Let's go around the kingdom before we open up the mailbag. Going on right now, under 15 minutes to go. 20th ranked UCF all tied at 1 with the 4th seeded Memphis Tigers. Big Memphis week. Anna Henderson, 35th minute, the mark, when she got an assist from Kristen Scott. She scored a goal, her second of the year. 62nd minute, though, Memphis has leveled things at 1. Some controversy there, originally called offsides and then overruled. So 1-1 under 15 minutes to go. The winner of this game faces SMU that knocked out the Cows, the second-seeded Cows, 5-0 in soccer. That is quite the beatdown. Cows lose that game 5-0. Knights with the AAC coaching staff of the year as well. Caroline Delisle, goalkeeper of the year, and Kristen Scott, the offensive player of the year. Knights will look to advance if they can get out of this one. 1-1, under 15 minutes to go. Men's soccer, season ends very disappointingly. They lose 2-1 to the Cows. They dropped some points in the war on I-4. They miss AAC postseason tournament, first time ever. Of course, they're moving to the Sun Belt. Big 12 does not offer men's soccer. So the final score there would be 3 regular season titles in the AAC, and they were tournament champions in 2021. And then volleyball, 24th ranked Knights. They swept Cincinnati. 19-1 overall, 11-1 in the AAC. McKenna Melville, we say this quite a bit, AAC Offensive Player of the Week. Abby Hansen was the Defensive Player of the Week in the league. They've got SMU at home Friday. They've got Memphis at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then Media Day, you threw up an interview. If you haven't got a chance to see it yet, we had a media opportunity with head coach Johnny Dawkins in advance of Monday's opener. That's coming up on Monday. A little sit down with Coach Dawkins and the media today. I think it could be an interesting team. If you can't be hopeful now before the season starts, something's wrong there. You got to be hopeful.
They do it to me every year, Trace. Every year I talk myself into how we have shooting on the outside. We have consistent ball handling. I think I'm literally in love with Taylor Hendricks. He seems like the nicest human being on earth. We've got a lot of new guys coming in, some scoring, some shooting. It feels like the energy is different. I don't want to read between the lines, but a lot of commentary out of the preseason interviews was about cohesiveness and how this team's kind of gelling together. They do it to me every year, Trace. Unbelievable.
Mike, I asked Coach Dawkins the tough question today.
Who's your starting five?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's why I asked.
I'm going to keep that under wraps. Right? We're still in the process of determining that. How about that?
That was worth a shot. He enjoyed that question afterwards. He said, you didn't think I was going to tell you that, right?
But did he tell you? Did he afterwards? Did he whisper to you at least? What?
No.
Unbelievable.
He did not give up anything. But I do think they've all talked about chemistry, so be interesting to see how things come together. They play Monday, November 7th, UNC Asheville. That follows the women's game. The women's game, they start 6 o'clock against Winthrop, so probably more like an 8:30, 8:40 start for the men, and we'll talk more about that next week. All right, fire up the mailbag. We got a little music, right?
Yes, in honor of last week's debacle, I'm now renaming the mailbag, henceforth the Brian W. Peterson Sons of UCF mailbag.
It's an official. We got a question.
It's an official. There was no walk and talks on Brian, but
your graphic does not. The graphic does not say that. Can you work on that? Can you type that in there?
It's just Brian Sons of UCF mailbag.
At Dolly_drama. Great question to start things off. I was talking about the win over Cincinnati. Most satisfying since when? Home win. And he said 2018 AAC championship game for him. What about you? Most satisfying home win since when?
Yeah, that feels like the right answer. I mean, it was certainly a close one down to the end. I guess Stanford's the other game you might point to, but that was over pretty early. So I'll go Cincy just because it was still a game late.
I was going to say Stanford because it was so satisfying. Remember, we still had that regular season win streak going. We were ranked pretty highly coming out of that game, but it all fell apart the next week in Pittsburgh. The Boise comeback was satisfying too. The first ever game under Gus Malzahn, but yes, it's been a little rough the last couple seasons.
At Mr. Matt Dolan with a pair of questions. First one: does UCF beat Cincinnati if Plumlee isn't injured?
I say probably. I mean, we had a couple turnovers. I mean, we had the lead. I go probably on that one.
Maybe. Could be.
I say no. I don't think we do.
Matt with a second question saying, with all that's going on with Twitter, what's the future for the mafia? Twitter and blue checks and Elon Musk. In 2027, it will be the UCF blank mafia. I wrote back to Matt, it'll be the MySpace mafia. Everything old will be new again.
SonsUCF.com mafia, maybe.
The Dungeon's favorite show.
You mentioned that.
Yeah. At Fit to the Max 24, Mike, does Plumlee have to sit out Saturday?
I think for his own health, he should. Does he have to? It's interesting. Is he going to be dressed and ready to come in case something happens to Mikey Keene? And is he the number two, or does he take the whole week off and you have Tommy ready to go if something were to happen?
And that was pretty much along that line at Corey SQ_PhD. If JRP were healthy, does he get the start? If he's cleared, does he get the start, Adam?
I think so. I mean, I feel like Gus made this decision. Gus does not strike me as one that's going to quickly go against his word on this one. So my suspicion is that Gus would stay true to that and stick with JRP.
This one also directed to you, Adam, at Barry Addict. When watching a game, do you stand or sit most of the time? A little viral moment for you with that video you posted. He says he pretty much stands other than timeouts, and that's not just at the bounce house. He's always standing.
No, fair. I wear out my living room floor. I'm a pacer if the game is close. If we're ahead comfortably, I'm a sitter by far. But if it's close, I'm a pacer. Not even a stander. I got to move around a little bit.
Barry with the Addict with another one. Mike, how about this one? He says he thinks the game against Cincinnati took a week away from his life expectancy. How about you? He also mentions that his son learned quite a few new expletives.
That's how you do it.
I was relatively calm during the game. I was sitting most of the time. I got up out of my seat a few times. Maybe that has to do with not drinking during the game. Maybe it relaxed me a little bit more. I don't know. But
calm and sober.
Right. It was weird. Very weird.
By the way, Adam, where was the things overheard at the game segment?
Yeah. So that was interesting. There were a lot of things said that Addison was taking account of.
By the way, it was great seeing Addison.
Yeah, you guys hit it off just swimmingly again as always. Yeah. But scheduling conflict. I mean, she's very busy. Scheduling conflict precluded her. But I think these are going to be good no matter when it is. And so I can't wait to unearth these. It's all these are courtesy of Lee. So Barry Addict, you may want to hide your kids for this one too.
At Ethan of 126, when there's a turnover and downs, does the clock continue to tick, tick, tick?
All right, so the clock was still ticking at that moment, right? Like, even though I know it should have stopped, it was still ticking. I thought this was something where Jeff Sharon's elbow was leaning on the button or something, and we were going to run some time off. And so I was hoping no one would notice the clock was ticking off. I also love that you people think I had some sort of sound mind at that moment where I was equally dialed into the rules of football. But the clock was still ticking at that moment in time. They put time back on the clock. I hoped it was like a Jeff Sharon elbow situation.
I had no idea what you said. I even played it for my daughter. She had no idea. I kicked the kids or something. I don't know what you thought you were.
May have done that too. Yeah.
Mike at blackgold_ed, with more and more people standing at the top of the cabana like Adam, should some of the seats be converted into standing only social areas? Yes. I think they need that wall-like area that Orlando City has, and you see in soccer. I think they need standing areas.
Yeah, I think that was my idea during the weekly show this week. Get rid of the top 10, 15 rows and have 8, 9, 10 rows of standing room. And most people like to stand during the game, and there's a lot of people that want to stand at their seats, and then people get annoyed because they're blocking them. And you got a solution for those people.
Look, I learned this week on Twitter that standing is a controversial topic. I got called an idiot and a bum because I was standing. But there's another factor of that, though, Trace. If you're up on that top, there's a nice breeze up there. It was a hot afternoon. There's a nice little breeze that comes in up there. So that's the other added benefit. I don't know if you put me like a bullpen situation where I got to stand with 30 people. I don't actually think I would enjoy that.
Can we go back to Devin's question on screen? And could you clarify for the record that I was very complimentary to Addison? Was glad to see her as she took notes on the proceedings.
She, you know what? I have a video here. I did not load it to the to the system here.
Do I want?
I can definitely play the audio. I can play the audio for you here. It's very on brand for you, Trace. Here, let's hope everyone can hear this.
I just wanted me to tell everybody that he's not a bully.
That was Trace wanted me to tell everybody he's not a bully.
But that's true, right? I mean, there was.
Well, you did tell her to tell everybody you're not a bully. I mean, that's something a bully would do.
No, I asked. I think I asked. I just wanted her to set the record straight, since this is taken off a little bit needlessly. So,
getting the characteristics of a bully.
At death save.
Trace bullying me.
No. We need to not play that again. That needs to be retired. That's what that is. At Death Save Arcade, dear Coach, a letter to Coach Malzahn. Since Keene is a winner, has the 2 biggest wins of our team for the last 3 years, why aren't you giving him QB1 next game and moving forward? We get a lot of questions about the coach and his decision on QB1. Night Fan, well, I'll go back to Night Fan 94's question. At UCF Knights, if Keene starts the rest of the season, wins out, will he stay at UCF another year? That's also interesting. What though? They get the win at Memphis, and Keene carries them to victory. That's a challenge going into Tulane for Coach Malzahn to go back to JRP.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Mario just killed me with this hostage video comment on screen here. I think the question, we'll wrote it down here someplace. Does Mikey come back? I think Gus has to re-recruit Mikey. I think he's going to have to sit him down after the season if he ends up playing and being the quarterback of record for the rest of the year. He's going to have to sit Mikey back down and re-recruit him. And again, with talented guys like Thomas Castellanos coming in, whoever's coming in potentially, from a high school standpoint, I think Mikey needs to be re-recruited.
It's only a tough decision going into Tulane if Mikey plays okay. If he plays like he played in the second half against Cincinnati, or he plays better than that and he looks good, I don't think there's a question. I think you start him against Tulane.
At Night Fan 94, if JRP is held out for the rest of the season, Mikey starts the rest of the way. UCF sweeps through the remaining regular season schedule, hosts the championship game, ekes out a title over Cincinnati. How many moms is Trace inviting to the Cotton Bowl watch party? I like that.
That's a question
12?
for you.
I like that.
How many can you handle?
I like that question.
Kyle Nash is back.
What's the answer?
No answer. No comment. At 2 letters. DM's open,
Wow.
Mel. At 2 letters, 2 words.
Chris, can you confirm or deny, by the way, that you visited the Moms Drink Free
I
tailgate Jello shot this
there were
week?
photo. I mean, there's no denying that. I hung
Yeah.
out with Libby. We went over there. A couple of shots. Jello
You
shots.
hung out with Libby and you went over there.
She's the mom.
Is that how that worked?
She's the mom. She had the access.
Were your Jello shots free too?
Yes.
Because you're Trace Choco or because you were with the mom?
Because I was hanging out with Libby. Yeah. At 2 letters, 2 words, Robert is talking about, does Mikey give the team the run pass balance and effectiveness Gus is always talking about?
Again, if you watch the film breakdown on YouTube with me and UCF XOS, there are still some things that Mikey missed from a read perspective. So I don't know if he's got the playbook as nailed as we think he does. I think he can get there, but I still think there's some runway for Mikey to get better.
Mike, at Lisa Van Wide, did anyone else notice the players on offense got more fired up when Mikey came into the game? I mean, there's a lot of respect for the players for both JRP and Mikey. I think we can see that.
Yeah, the guys in the locker room love him. You saw it after the game, and putting him up on their shoulders. During the game, there was when he took off for that run, and he made a nice play on that. He started yelling at the sideline, and they were yelling back at him. That's the point I noticed. That other than that, I'm not sure exactly.
At Night Longwood, do our running backs want Mikey or JRP? Mikey opened up the running game far more than we've seen against good defenses with JRP. I think they want to win, right? They just want to win.
I don't know if the quarterback really has much to do with that, as much as the improved offensive line played in the second half. So maybe, but I think the O-line has a much bigger part in that.
Well, we mentioned this a little bit earlier. Jacob, RCF. JRP isn't ready to go against Memphis, which we expect. Keene leads the team to a victory. Crisp-looking offense. What does Coach Gus Malzahn do against Tulane? Mike, for you, it's pretty obvious. You go with a hot hand.
Yeah, definitely. I think so. And does it open up the running game? If teams have to respect the pass a little more and they're expecting the quarterback to run and they got to drop their linebackers a little bit, yeah, it opens up the passing game that way. You don't need the quarterback to run if you're able to complete some passes downfield.
At John Horsepower, what does it say about Gus if he were to immediately go back to go back to Plumlee? He's just stubborn about this, isn't he? Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it would absolutely be him just showing his stubbornness and what he thinks he wants out of the offense.
Mike, how about this one? We talk about the Mikey Keene JRP. How about CF Pew Pew asking about Thomas Castellanos if he
Trace, do that one again.
Around.
Hold on, that's not how you do that. It's pew pew. You got to do the finger guns on that one. If you're going to call that name out, what are you doing? One more time.
Don't bully me. Don't bully me on the reading of names.
I learned it from watching you.
But Mike, quarterback controversies. Does Thomas stick around with the eligibility he has left? If Mikey sticks around, there's so many things, right, that could go on here.
Nowadays, anything is possible. Anybody can transfer at any time. I wouldn't dismiss it. It's very possible. But we never know. Everybody thinks that they know who the future of quarterback is going to be. We've been saying this for years. Everybody thought Quadri Jones was going to be the future. Everybody thought DJ Mack was going to be the future. It changes from day to day and year to year.
At Lonely Bee UCF, will we finally see a wide receiver stand out by catching the ball now instead of running it?
Better than them dropping it, which has happened to way too much this year.
Mike, at E.T. Johnson 4, will ground be broke on the Lazy River Recovery Cove before or after the first Big 12 check is received?
Well, it seems imminent now. We know what the numbers are, so I think we can start breaking ground on it. I don't see there's any way we're not getting those checks now, right? Is the deal done for sure?
Not done.
All right, when it's done, then you put the shovel in the ground.
At Josh Carr 5, do you think Harvey should or will get the bulk of the carries going forward? And what do you make of Johnny Richardson's lack of involvement in the offense? RJ Harvey's just continuing to gain steam. right?
Yeah, and just too many mouths to feed, Trace. That's the unfortunate problem. Is three running backs who each play a good role, who each have the ability to produce. There's too many mouths to feed on offense, and I think it's funny, maybe opposite of what Gus does in quarterback. I think he plays the hot hand. RJ Harvey clearly had a hot hand on Saturday. He got the bulk of the carries. Bowser's clearly going to get that wild Bowser, 10 yards and in carries. I think you got to find ways to mix Johnny in there, but I think it's just too many mouths to feed.
At Yugi Moto 99, UCF went 3-1 last year against teams remaining on the schedule. Is it safe, Mike, to start prepping Jello shots now for the AAC title game?
I sure hope so, man. That's what we've been hoping for all season, to get to that game. To have it at home is even better. Every time we've played in the championship game in this conference has been at home. So I'd like to keep it that way.
Our buddy at UCF XOS, if Travis Williams takes a new job this offseason, who or from where would you want the next D coordinator? There's a lot of coaches that Coach Malzahn knows, and part of his coaching tree over 30-plus years of coaching.
I'd love to promote from within if we could, right? One of the Kennys, on the line, maybe an opportunity.
One of the Kennys.
Addison Williams is already the assistant head coach, I believe, by title. So I'd love to promote from within if we could, but I understand that there may be some good candidates out there as well.
Mike at Golden Knight _2, do you think the reason for our good defense is due to the D-line overcompensating?
The D-line has been the stronger unit on defense for sure. Tremont Morris-Brash has had a good year. Selascar had a huge game the other day. So it goes hand in hand. The D-line, if they're getting pressure, it helps out the secondary. Or is the secondary covering long enough to give these guys time to get pressure? We talked to XO. Maybe he can break it down for us.
Not a lot of turnovers. Perhaps that's something you can talk to Andy about, Adam, next time you do that show. Just a lack of the turnovers. UCF has only had a couple interceptions this season, so that's something to watch for Saturday. At M_M in UCF, how many transfers arrived from Auburn? Boy, that's a dumpster fire there. That booster-controlled, you can imagine Gus feels pretty good about getting out of that.
Give me 3.
Are they going to get Dion? Is he heading there?
Dion's not going
Ends up
there.
as coach.
He's not going there.
At Spurs United, the 2 upcoming road games, that being Memphis and then at Tulane, which one concerns you the most? Memphis for right now. That was my answer to him online, but Memphis right now. Got to get by Memphis.
Tulane's the better team, but I understand we all have a little trauma from the East Carolina game, so I guess we have to say Memphis.
At Lil Joey Joe 49, what's your confidence level and our awakeness heading into Memphis after the big Cincy win? As you mentioned it earlier, Mike, Gus said that the team would be ready and prepared.
Yeah, there's no more excuses. This is it. We have to win this game. We have to win the next couple games, and then we're in the driver's seat. Then you get 2 games where you feel like you should be big favorites with Navy at home, and then the Cal game to finish the year.
At Armored_up, with all the Big 12 money, does our scheduling philosophy change? We can certainly afford to schedule like a big boy now, more 2-for-1s. I think it was interesting, the scheduling of Louisiana. But you got to remember this 9-game schedule, some years 4 home, 5 away. How many of these tough games do you want? I think the Kent States and the Louisianas fit the scheduling bill.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I'd love to play some in-state schools, I think Timo has said the same. I think it's got to make sense from a scheduling standpoint. Certainly, I'm curious if that changes, but first sign is Louisiana, so do with that what you will.
At Mania Morris, curious to hear your thoughts. Not a big Heupel fan, says he, but recent success reminded him of this. Could Heupel have been more successful at UCF if he wasn't strong-armed with Randy Shannon? Perhaps Danny White's one of his biggest fails as AD at UCF, handcuffing Randy Shannon. Would Heupel have been more successful?
I mean, possible. I'm going to say something really slanderous right now. Luckily, it's late in the show. I mean, you might argue at Tennessee, he's actually leveled up quarterback play. And you're seeing what a quarterback can do in that offense. I don't think we saw a ton of that when quarterbacks are running his offense here. So maybe there's a little bit more to that. But I'm sure having a D coordinator kind of handed to you didn't help either.
Everything was fine the first season. We went undefeated. Randy Shannon, one of his biggest things was supposed to be recruiting, right? And the recruiting those last couple seasons under Heupel wasn't that great. Is that part of the deal too?
Let's wrap up the Brian W. Peterson Sons mailbag segment with this one from at Brian W. Peterson. Adam, why do you hate Brian?
Yeah. I mean, I only named the mailbag after people I really like and respect, which is certainly one Wild Bill Peterson. So I did reach out to Brian via DM. I offered my condolences and my apologies. He sent me a middle finger back. So more updates coming.
Wow.
You guys had a good show this week. I think Nick Patty should feel a little slighted, though, not making the top 5 best-looking quarterbacks.
I threw him in there. I tried to get him in there. Mike was not having any of it. He needed John Rivera in there for some reason. I tried to get Nick Patty in there. I tried to get Dante in there, and Mike was just not having it.
Make your own list. Let's hear your own list. I mean,
that's the Suns Plus feature. Make your own list. And Mike
Calabrese, I don't think can be argued. Nobody else said Big Pen. You know, the people that were responding on Twitter, none of them had any quarterbacks before 2016. So I don't think it's just the women that follow this thing don't go back that far. I don't know, but a couple of mine were old school ones.
You got to do a top 5 list on best hair now, don't you?
Sure. I mean, Colton Boomer is right up there right now.
Who you're talking to, Trace? I mean,
Atari Bigby.
What was that, Mike?
Atari Bigby.
Huh?
Atari Bigby. Remember him?
Yeah.
Say it again, Mike.
Women's soccer, Memphis, they're in overtime, all level at 1. I want to thank Colton Boomer for joining us. Porter Grieve, part of Charge On XYZ, and Frank Bonner II, who covers Memphis for the Daily Memphian. The Adam and Mike, the Dungeon's favorite podcast, will be back early next week.
Keep saying that for some reason.
I do like saying that. Well, I think it's a pretty good accolade.
Can we now acclaim ourselves to be award winning? I've heard that somewhere.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And forever, you can keep mentioning it.
Doesn't matter when you won the award, Trace. Just that you won it.
And be sure to subscribe if you haven't to the Sons of UCF YouTube channel. Good breakdown with the XO segment. And as well, you'll hear from Coach Dawkins and players, both men's and women's basketball in advance of Monday's openers for the men's and women's teams. I plan to be there. I'll be in Memphis, so look for some coverage post-game on my Twitter at @SignPez. And for Adam and Mike, I'm Trace Trelko. Go Knights.
Charge